Hello, my name's Marybel Batjer, and I'm Secretary of Government Operations Agency for the state of California. And I'm here today to read from one of my very, very favorite books, truly an American classic. And I've brought with me today a cherished copy. It's the 35th anniversary edition signed by Harper, the author of To Kill a Mockingbird. And To Kill a Mockingbird was published in 1960. It won the Pulitzer Prize in 1963. And indeed, it was a banned book as early as 1963 and as recently as 2007. To me, it's a timeless tale, a timeless story. For me, it's a story of man's inhumanity of man. It is indeed a story of the harsh realities of discrimination and hatred. And yes, indeed, Harper Lee used harsh language in describing the segregated South Mississippi, small Mississippi town of 1938. And I'll set the stage for my reading for you today. This is the final argument to the jury that Atticus Finch, the lawyer for the defendant, Tom Robinson, is making to a jury of 12 white men. And his two wonderful children are looking down and watching their father, that Scout and Jim. And the story, the entire book, is told through the voice of Scout. So I will begin. One of my favorite passages in American classic literature. And so a quiet, respectable, humble Negro who had the unmitigated temerity to feel sorry for a white woman has had to put his words against two white peoples. I need not remind you of their appearance and conduct on the stand. You saw them for yourselves. The witness for the state, with the exception of the sheriff of Macomb County, have presented themselves to you gentlemen, to this court, in a cynical confidence that their testimony would not be doubted, confident that you gentlemen would go along with them on the assumption, the evil assumption, that all Negroes lie, that all Negroes are basically immoral beings, that all Negro men are not to be trusted with our women, an assumption one associates with the minds of their caliber. Which, gentlemen, you know is in itself a lie as black as Tom Robinson's skin, a lie I do not have to point out to you. You know the truth. The truth is this: some Negroes lie, some Negroes are immoral. Some Negro men are not to be trusted around women, black or white. But this is a truth that applies to the human race and to no particular race of men. There is not a person in this courtroom who has never told a lie, who has never done an immoral thing, and there is no man living who has never looked upon a woman without desire. Atticus paused and took out his handkerchief. Then he took off his glasses and wiped them, and we saw another first. We had never seen him sweat. He was one of those men whose faces never perspired, but now it was shining tan. One more thing, gentlemen, before I quit. Thomas Jefferson once said that all men are created equal, a phrase that the Yankees and the distaff sod of the executive branch in Washington are fond at hurling at us. There is a tendency in this year of grace, 1935, for certain people to use this phrase out of context to satisfy all concerns and conditions. The most ridiculous example I can think of is that people who run public education promote the stupid and idle over the industrious. Because all men are created equal, educators will gravely tell you the children left behind would suffer terrible feelings of inferiority. We know all men are not created equal in the sense some people would have us believe. Some people are smarter than others. Some people have more opportunity because they're born with it. Some men make more money than others. Some ladies bake better cakes than others. Some people are born gifted beyond the normal scope of most men. But there is one way in this country in which all men are created equal. There is one human institution that makes a pauper the equal of Rockefeller, the stupid man the equal of Einstein, the ignorant man the equal of any college president. That institution, gentlemen, is a court. It can be the Supreme Court of the United States or the humblest JP court in the land, or this honorable court which you serve. Our courts have their faults, as does every human institution. But in this country, our courts are the great levelers. And in our courts, all men are created equal. I'm no idealist. To believe firmly in the integrity of our country, our courts, and the jury system, that is no ideal to me. It is a living, working reality. Gentlemen, a court is no better than each man of you sitting before me on this jury. A court is only as sound as its jury, and a jury is only as sound as the men who make it up. I am confident that you gentlemen will review without passion the evidence you have heard, come to a decision, and restore this defendant to his family. In the name of God, do your duty. Atticus's voice had dropped, and as he turned away from the jury, he said something I did not catch. He said it more to himself than to the court. I punched Jim. What'd he say? In the name of God, believe him. I think that's what he said. Thank you so much for letting me share something that's deep in my soul. Yes, America banned this book, as I said, as early as 1963 and as recently as 2007. I think what upsets people about this book is not the use of the N-word or the profanity that Harper Lee used. It is indeed that what existed in 1935 still exists today. This book should be required reading for every human being in America. Thank you very much.